The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para-X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Oh, hell no!
Whatever.
The following program contains opinions expressed by the Dead Zone. If you find this broadcast offensive, lighten up, candy ass.
What?
Oh my gosh.
It's a radio show.
Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
Power up request received. Initiating systems. Powering up transmitters. Welcome to the Dead Zone.
Wait a minute.
Kill this.
Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show. Thanks for tuning in. Tonight's guest is going to be East Coast Bigfoot researcher founder Daniel Benoit. And we're going to have Michelle with the paranormal news. And we're going to kick tonight off with two, actually. Let's do two from Pentagram. The first one is Southern Superstition. Check it out. Are you in a band or know of a band that is currently unsigned and looking for airplay for free? We want to hear from you. One of the main goals of the show is to help promote up-and-coming bands and artists as well as our paranormal community. Getting your name out there can be tough, especially these days. Shoot us an email, deadzonebooking@gmail.com. If your music fits our genre, hard rock, 80s, 90s metal, and new metal, we want to help.
I saw your face in the spirit glass, framed by the black flames of your past. I see the torture in your eyes. I'll put a spell upon you tonight. Come on. You've got that juju, it's all over you. I'll fix it creepy mojo hand. Recitation, the incantation. It's in the blood of everyone.
This is Keith Age, and you're listening to The Dead Zone.
Paranormal news.
Coast to Coast AM article, former director of national intelligence hints at revelatory UFO report. Dated March 22nd, 2021, written by Tim Benoit. In a recent interview with Fox News, former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe shared insights on the UFO phenomenon and suggested that a forthcoming government report on the subject could contain significant revelations. His intriguing comments were made during a conversation with Maria Bartiromo this past Friday evening. positing that the former Trump administration official saw the most intelligence that anyone has ever seen other than the president. The host noted that the government is required to issue a report on UFOs to the public later this year and asked Ratcliffe if such strange objects have been seen. Although he chuckled when Bartiromo initially broached the topic, the former DNI offered a serious response, saying that the government has lots of reports about what we call unidentified aerial phenomena. He went on to confirm that the government will be issuing a proverbial UFO report in a few months, and claimed that he wanted to get this information out and declassified before I left office, but was unable to pull off such a feat. Frankly, there are a lot more sightings than have been made public, Ratcliffe said, explaining that these reports come from Navy or Air Force pilots or have been picked up by satellite imagery. These puzzling objects, he revealed, engage in actions that are difficult to explain, move in a manner seemingly impossible by current technology, and exceed the sound barrier without a sonic boom. Ratcliffe revealed that there are quite a few of those incidents on record and postulated that information on these cases is being gathered and will be put out in a way that the American people will see. As for what could be behind these inexplicable sightings, he indicated that when we see these things, we always look for a plausible explanation, citing weather effects or potential foreign technology, but conceded that there are instances where we don't have good explanations for what we have seen. Pressed by Bartiromo for more information on where these objects have been seen, Ratcliffe marveled that there have been sightings all over the world. Dismissing the notion that such reports come from a solitary witness, he clarified that usually we have multiple sensors that are picking up these things. Ultimately, the former DNI mused that I think it'll be healthy for as much of this information to get out there as possible so that the American people can see some of the things that we've been dealing with. Fortunately, we won't have to wait all that much longer to see what, if anything, gets revealed to the public, as the government report on UFOs is set to be released on June 1st. So if you have any proof of UFOs, any proof of UFOs, whether you have pictures, videos, you have a story that you'd like to share, email me at michelle.deadzone@gmail.com. That's michelle.deadzone@gmail.com.
This is Sandy Johnson, and you're listening to The Dead Zone.
If all radio stations in town were palm trees, we'd be the one with the biggest coconuts.
Now,
Here are the one, the only
Dead Zone.
All right, let's see if we can't get Daniel on the phone. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you speak up a little bit? Are you on speakerphone?
No, I got my headset plugged in.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I can hear you, but
Let me make sure my head's. I'm sorry, say that again.
I can hear you, but the software's not picking you up very well.
Okay, I don't know. I should have good signal here. I don't know.
All right, it's fine. It's fine. We'll work on it in pre-production or post-production.
Okay.
Anyway, Daniel, how's it going, my friend?
It's going great. Been a long week.
Been a long week. So what you been up to? What's going on with the East Coast Bigfoot Research Organization?
Yes. That is my organization that I've established over 10 years ago. And since then, since starting that organization, it's been very successful. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Very productive. So.
Okay, well, elaborate on that. What's one of the things that you're most proud of as far as your team goes, that the evidence you've come up with?
Well, first of all, let me back up. I did start off solo as I got involved with the whole Bigfoot research.
Right.
And, as I got into the Bigfoot research, I started learning of others involved with the subject, and I later went on to start reaching out to other people that I've become, to learn and know of, and, started slowly putting, people together. I mean, for the longest time, it was just a couple of us.
Right.
Couple locals, and then eventually it kind of expanded out where other people started learning about my research and my view on the subject, and so they shown interest in wanting to get involved and basically start representing in their locations,
right.
Here along the East Coast. And some of these people have had experiences, and they love sharing their experiences with me, and so and we started documenting and taking notes of these things. And now for the longest time, as far as evidence goes, I mean, I've over the years in the general area that I've put a lot of focus into, I've come across tracks, and my main focus was always wildlife. I grew up learning and knowing all about wildlife. I started studying wildlife. I've actually started to focus and study a lot harder when I got involved with Bigfoot, only for the very fact that I stand on a very objective side of things. Compared to a lot of others involved in the subject that are willing to accept almost anything that's presented.
Yeah.
I care more about the truth. So, despite the findings and the tracks and experiencing what we would call the unknown, I knew what I was hearing. I had to keep that objective approach. So
now you say you knew what you were hearing.
I mean,
you say you knew what you were hearing. Are you referring to you knew what you were hearing in the woods, or what you were hearing from other people's stories?
Yeah, and then as far as myself as well, as far as hearing vocals and hearing what we would refer, or what I would refer to as the unknown.
Right.
Basically, the vocalizations and the tracks that did not belong to anything that it was considered known, as far as the known species that the public would commonly easily accept that. But then again, like I said, compared to the unknown, referring to Sasquatch, Bigfoot,
right.
Some of these things were found and were, they stood apart. And so, started documenting some of these findings through audio recordings, to plaster castings, and pictures. Pictures are a great source of documenting. Videos.
Right.
I have several field videos of what I discovered in the field, and it's all public. It can be viewed on YouTube. So, some of these are some of the things I've come across. So, and it's been very fascinating, very rewarding. It's exciting. No matter how many times you might come across a track, I mean, it's exciting.
It's a rush. Yeah, I get it.
Especially if you could determine how fresh that track was. So.
Right.
So, absolutely.
Right. Okay, so back to the original question. What is the one thing that stands out in your mind as your most, I'll say, your go-to, this is my proof, this is why I know this is real, right here, this is the one?
Well, I mean, honestly, as far as something I found that's the most incredible, I would have to say the bipedal humanoid foot tracks.
Oh, okay.
I mean, as far as the location, as far as the locations where these tracks are found, very deep in the woods.
Right.
I mean, one would have to ask, is there a person doing this? You're out in dangerous terrain and you're deep in the woods, especially anyone that's familiar. Like, for example, right here in Virginia, the George Washington National Forest.
Right.
I mean, we're in the mountains out here. We have the mountains, and you know, and there's a lot of rock ledges and, you know, so forth. And you're coming across these tracks and you're finding these tracks.
Right.
You know, I mean, yeah, like somebody like me, you want to remain objective, but there's a big side of you that you cannot deny. Like, okay, unless there is a wild person out here,
yeah.
Well, Bigfoot, we could.
Yeah.
Bigfoot's considered a wild man of the forest. So,
right.
So we know there's a wild person out here. You know, a wild being of some sort. You know, so.
Right.
So yeah, these are very fascinating. Science, according to science is very objective on these because, of course, like I was mentioning earlier, they can be a foot track. You know, alleged Bigfoot track could easily be hoax.
Oh yeah,
which
absolutely.
I mean, I've witnessed hoax tracks before. You know, so
right.
But yeah, so I mean, as far as the most incredible piece of evidence that I have personally come across are tracks in deep remote locations.
Right. So you wouldn't say that you wouldn't say
absolutely.
you wouldn't say that there was one individual. It's more along the lines of the scenario, the idea of finding large bipedal tracks is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're in Virginia. Yeah, you guys are in Virginia. So you're around. You're up there with my boys from the Ames team, right?
I'm sorry. The Ames team.
Yeah. Mountain Monsters.
Oh no! As far as the the Mountain Monsters. Yeah, they're they're in. They're out of West Virginia.
West Virginia.
I mean, I am in the western part of Virginia.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm in the Shenandoah Valley. But you know, my research area is not far from the West Virginia line.
Right.
But yeah, I had no association with the Ames team.
Right now.
So yeah, so that's I don't know, my take on that is a little different here. So.
Right. So, yeah, they're friends of ours. Yeah, they're good guys. But yeah, they do cross borders too.
Yeah,
I mean,
I got a friend of mine who lives out in the state of Illinois, which actually I did some filming with him not long ago. He considers himself basically like the sister team to the Ames. I mean, the way he has his team put together. He's a young guy, but he's very well put together and organized, and he knows his history on cryptids and very well familiar with nature. And but yeah, I was actually glad to do some exploring and research with him. And we filmed one of our latest documentaries out there. So
what was his team's name? I might know him.
Oh yeah, it's the Southern Illinois Monster Hunters. Well, the main founder of that is his name is Zach Sterick. So
I know that name.
Yeah, they go by SIMH. Yeah,
I know that name. I don't know the team, but I do know that name.
Okay.
Right. Well, cool. That's awesome. That's very cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's actually is a great individual to actually talk with. You would actually be very fascinated by his words. I mean, he's like a cryptozoology encyclopedia. You know, he can tell you, and especially any kind of history of legends or reports in his area. He's one to talk to about the state of Illinois. So
right.
So
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So, what do you have coming? What do you have? I know that you've been doing recently. You've been doing some conventions and some meet and greets and that kind of thing. And I think you did say you had one tomorrow, don't you?
Yeah. Well, tomorrow we're actually me and one of my research partners, also known as my girlfriend. We actually have we have an investigation that we're going to check out. We actually have this location that we're going to actually has a history of sightings in this one particular area. There's been multiple eyewitnesses in this location. They've actually sent me pictures of tracks they found on site. A couple of pictures of the tracks, you could make them out to a certain extent, through the pictures. I mean, pictures, I will say this, even on my own, pictures don't always do justice when it comes to taking pictures of alleged tracks. Even with wildlife, sometimes what you see in person
Right.
doesn't do justice compared to, I mean, or the other way around, you know, as far as pictures versus in person. So,
right.
But
that goes with anything.
Yeah, so I've been gathering a lot of information on this. Exactly. Yes. So yeah, I've been taking notes of everything they've been reporting to me, and we finally made it a point to set a date and go down there. We're going to spend all day tomorrow and go, you know, camp overnight on the property, because you know they tell me, you know, everything they hear at night. You know, anywhere from various screams to howls, and you can hear what they claim the bipedal movement in the area.
Right.
So, yeah, we just got to check this out for ourselves. You know, they gave me an address. I was able to kind of look up the area, you know, via, you know, through the satellite maps, and kind of get a general idea of the location. You know, what the layout of the land looks, and it's very interesting. There is a lot of woods around there, but there's also some what I've noticed to be like open flat farmlands around there. So yeah, I'll be curious to see what we might come across tomorrow. So absolutely
keep us updated.
Now you mentioned as far as the events, yes, we actually been hard at work planning and organizing upcoming events. Now I host 2 events here in Virginia every year. The one we have every June is our annual Virginia Bigfoot Con.
Right.
That's coming up June 18th in Stanton, Virginia, at the Holiday Inn and Conference Center.
Awesome.
We're very excited and pumped about that. Yeah, we got a great lineup of speakers. Most of them around the surrounding states here on the East Coast, and then we have Mr. Todd Neese coming all the way out from the state of Oregon.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're excited to have him with us as well. Yeah, retired fairly recent retired military.
Right.
And actually, he's had a sighting himself. I've actually had the opportunity to interview him some years ago on one of my old podcasts. So we got a great lineup of speakers, and we're gonna have some amazing vendors, book authors on site, and some other fellow podcasters that will be set up there. One other thing too, as far as this event goes, if Bigfoot does not attract people, we have the Autobots from the Transformers that will be with us live in action, and we're talking about these guys will be they're like 7 to 8 feet tall,
right,
walking around doing their thing. So that's been getting a lot of attention. So yeah, we're kind of excited to see these guys show up at a Bigfoot convention, you know. So So yeah, of course Bigfoot's going to be there. We're going to have a couple Bigfoots roaming around. So don't worry about that. We will have Bigfoot with us. So
okay.
Yeah,
I know you might
be interested in checking that out. They can go to the website. It's vabigfootcon.com. So,
yeah, you might want to reach out to one of our buddies.
And then of course in October we have our.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What's that?
You might want to reach out to one of our buddies, Bodine the Bigfoot. Yeah. He likes to do conventions.
Oh, Bodine the Bigfoot. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I've I kind of followed them there. They're very entertaining. That's for sure.
Great guys. Great guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Oh, no, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. Then our other event that we host in Virginia is happens in October, which is our Virginia Squatch Festival.
That's cool.
Now that's very similar to our June event. However, we have a lot more entertainment as far as for young children, more food trucks and of various sorts, and tons of vendors. And we do have guest speakers at that event.
Right.
However, I usually try to keep the speakers, a small amount of speakers for that event, because there's more activities outside of the venue where everybody likes to participate in. We have contests and everything for the kids, even adults if they want to join in. So absolutely. So we're very excited about these events coming up. I myself, I've been very busy. I'm attending more events this year that I'm actually speaking at.
And now the COVID's kind of letting up,
as far as my girlfriend Jessica, yes, absolutely. That's I'm glad that's out of the way.
Working its way out.
COVID has been a major roadblock for a lot of people.
For a lot of us,
and it's a big relief that we yeah, we could all get back involved with what we like.
Right.
So, actually, yeah, we just got back about a couple weeks ago from North Carolina, the Bigfoot Festival that takes place in Marion, in North Carolina. That was huge. That was my first time attending that event, and yeah, I was blown away by how huge it was. We had a torrential downpour there for a little while, but that did not stop the crowds.
No,
so, you know,
rain or shine,
it did not. We've had my girlfriend's vendor booth there. Yeah, we had people taking shelter and hanging out with us. You know, I mean,
that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's cool. But, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but yeah, overall that was a fun event, and I had the honors of speaking there myself. So they had a Friday. The event took place on Saturday, but they had an educational expo that took place on Friday. So that was a nice turnout.
Right.
I was actually surprised the amount of people that turned out for a Friday evening. You know, I mean, it started at 3:00. So, and there was a good turnout there. And of course, a few more stragglers came in there as the hours were going by, because people were just getting off of work and whatnot. So, but that was a very fun experience. I'll say that much. So.
Right. That's another thing too. Talking about all the events that everything seems to take place around the same. I'm going to say 3 to 4 month period. Right. Everyone wants to get everything in at the same time, so you have to pick and choose to which event you want to attend or be a part of. And why does it just have to be in the hottest months of the year? Why drag it out a little bit? You know what I mean? But everyone wants to do everything at the same time.
Exactly.
And it's just crazy.
I agree with you. It's just we've been holding our event for going on 4 years now.
Yeah.
And just this past June at our last event, 2 weeks prior to our event, right over next door in West Virginia, I was kind of shocked. I was like, the West Virginia Bigfoot Festival that started up, they decided to put their festival on 2 weeks prior. And the thing is, their date was set on the same day as mine.
Right.
I was like, I got people that like to come over, come from wherever. I mean, I got people that come from several different states all the way. I've had people from Florida, Texas. I mean, they come from all over. But so imagine the closer bordering states. Oh, yeah. They learn about your event. They're like, yeah, that's not that far. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then it puts people in a pickle. It's like, man, yeah.
You can only afford to do one or two things, right?
You can choose.
Right. I mean, back when we went to the Mothman Festival with the Ames boys we shut the place down twice. I mean, Point Pleasant ran out of money. The ATMs machines were out. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's for real, yeah. And
wow.
Now, with what's been happening now, you can't. There's just so much going on. You don't know what way to turn. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Right. Absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I like to point or compare mine to other events. One, I like to consider us still new as far as what we've been doing.
Right.
But every year we add something a little bit newer, fresher, and we try to keep it affordable. I'll say that.
Right.
Compared to some of these other events.
Right.
Well, for vendors.
Yeah.
Too,
what I was talking about was
to attend a lot of these other events.
Yeah. What I was talking about was in the past when we've done the Mothman Festival there. I mean, yeah, that was really cool. I mean, it was great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't mind me asking, where are you guys located out of?
We're out of Indiana, central Indiana. Actually, right here in Clay City, in an old strip pit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're like we're like 3 hours from Kentucky.
I know. What's that?
We're about 3 hours from Kentucky, from Louisville, Kentucky, or about 3 hours from Ohio. And Illinois, your buddy over in Illinois, we're like we're like 2 hours across the border.
I drove through. 2 hours. Okay. Yeah. We did drive through Indiana, a good part of Indiana on the southern strip along Route 64. Because we went through. We went through a part of Kentucky. Then we went through Kentucky, Indiana. Then we made it into Illinois.
Right.
We were headed out that way. So it was a nice drive, very beautiful drive. So really enjoyed that. So. These events are very tiring, exhausting.
Oh,
a lot of fun and worth it. Right. Yeah, like I said, you got to consider dates and time. We try to plan stuff, to where it, as far as the dates that we do in June, we like to keep it towards the end of the month, but I've always tried to do it around the 24th, 25th, whatever weekend falls around that time. So, but again, since the West Virginia Museum Festival started up, it's like I don't want to, I split off. And it's like, okay, we're going to do it the week before because, give the people that know about now they might know about both events. They want to attend both. It works out for them, So
right.
It's as far as the planning, for those who do run and organize these kind of events, they know how much work goes into them. So,
right.
And I've always organized and I've done these pretty much on my own. So, but I do have help now, which is awesome. So, we've been able to pick up sponsors a lot more now, which is big time help.
Right.
Trying to find out how you're going to be able to afford for these venues, So
right, that's a big issue right there.
Yes, we do charge like for the June event. It's free for people to come shop and browse the vendors.
Right.
And participate and enjoy the entertainment there. We do charge admission for those who want to sit in on the speakers because it allows them also a meet and greet and much more.
Well, you know what?
It's a small admission fee. We don't get ridiculous on stuff.
What I think a lot of people don't understand is, these people don't show up at your events for free. You have to pay them to be there, and evidently a lot of people don't understand that, right?
Right, exactly.
But
that and the cost of the venues are not cheap either. If you want to have it at a decent place. Yeah, that's very pricey too. So
right, right.
But we've tried a couple different venues out before. We're trying to find out what's more space and what's more affordable, what benefits us more. So people could come and enjoy them the way they like to.
Right. So every time every time
like the venue that we're having now, I'm excited about it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You were talking. I stepped on you again. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you were saying something. You were.
The times.
You're fine.
The times we were at the Mothman Festival. That was like just an open air, outdoor, main street. Everyone was set up all along down the roads with their pop ups and all this kind of thing. Like we were under the big tent, had a big tarp up and all that kind of thing. And oh my God, it was so hot. You know what I mean? It was just, the heat was insane.
Oh yeah.
And that's another reason, why does it have to be? Why does everything have to be in a period of 4 months when it's the worst time of year? But what can you do, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway, we're gonna wrap.
It's like our June event this year here.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say our June event this year will be held indoors. It's at like I said, it's at the Holiday Inn and Conference Center.
There you go. Yeah.
Very comfortable AC. So our food trucks will be set up outside. But yeah. So absolutely. So yeah. We're looking forward to this. So we encourage your people to come check us out.
Right.
And they'll enjoy it. I promise that.
Okay. Well, one more question I'm going to ask before we're going to run out of time here. One more question I'm going to ask. We're going to run out of time here. I'm sorry for this 8-second delay. Always gets me. I always wind up stepping on someone, and I apologize for that. But
Oh, totally understandable.
What equipment do you use?
Well, to be honest with you, I do have some equipment. I do have a thermal FLIR. It's a TK Scout.
Right.
It works great.
Right.
And I do have a really strong night vision binocular.
Right.
I also like to use a simple digital audio recorder.
Right.
To set out for recording audio if it may occur.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a small parabolic microphone. Now, I'll tell you, these parabolic microphones, you can find them on Amazon. They're usually anywhere from $30 to $40.
Right, right.
They're actually labeled as a toy.
Yeah.
Or in some cases, they're considered, just for bird watching and all that. But I'm going to tell you, they work great. They say they have a 300-foot range, but if you're hearing a vocalization that's loud enough, you'll pick up vocals from a lot further away.
Right.
So, and some of these devices, they do have recording capabilities, that's awesome.
Right.
So yeah, thermal imager for a TK Scout is very affordable for anybody that's on a tight budget. Yes, they're about $500, but I love them.
Yeah.
There's much more powerful ones out there. If you have the money to get a better, stronger one, go for it. If you're willing to take that, pay that money out.
You're going to put that investment into it. Yeah.
Tell you what, the best tools I have is my eyes and yes. The best tools I have are my eyes, ears, and your basic senses. Because when you're involved with the unknown, and when you get involved, you're out in nature, and you never know what to expect. So it's best to always be fully alert and search your surroundings, and because you never know what's out there. You could be stomping on evidence. You gotta just take the time and look. Because I've spoken to a lot of hunters, hikers, and I've presented myself on who I am and what I do. And a lot of them was like, well, I'm in the woods all the time. I never see nothing. You're not looking.
You're not looking for it. Right.
It's simple.
You got to open your eyes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't you ever use
the evidence is out there. I will guarantee you that.
Don't you ever use a night vision camera? A standard SLS or something like that, or SLR? I'm sorry, SLR camera.
Well, my night vision, yeah. I do have camcorders and stuff like that, but they're not infrared. Well, as far as trail cameras, yes, I'll set up trail cameras in various areas. I haven't done this in a while. I've been kicking myself in the butt for not getting on it again, but.
Right.
But yeah, as far as the only kind of infrared cameras I have are my trail cameras, and one thing, if anyone wants to start using infrared cameras like trail cameras, game cameras, if you take your time to study the device before you buy it, try to find the ones that produce an invisible flash. There's cameras out there that will not use infrared, because a lot of people claim that I know the wildlife sees it because I've seen them. We can see it if we're walking through a trail camera. We see the infrared go up.
Right.
But there is a newer technology, and it's not expensive. There is one out there. I mean, I can't think of the name brands right off the top of my head. But yeah, if you do your research on your devices, you'll find some very, within budget and very good devices.
Right.
When I say within budget, I'm talking like $100 to $130.
That's not
Some
bad.
cameras go way up there in prices.
The budget's better.
Yeah, I always recommend people do your research on what you get or what you plan on getting anyway. So absolutely. But maybe later down the road, I may invest in a infrared camcorder. You could get they do sell them. Some of them are. You got to be careful. Some of them are very cheap and low grade ones.
We have two.
Again, that's
we have
if
two
you're
or three.
willing to spend the money, they do have them out there.
Yeah. I mean, we have two or three that we use for our investigation.
Now, I know also right. I do know that there is some out there. Well, you could buy the infrared lights that you could attach to your tripod or something too.
Mm-hmm.
I've considered trying that. I don't know how well they work, but I'd be willing to do that for just night investigations. Basically, if you plan on just kind of. I don't know. They'll probably only have about maybe a 20-foot range. I don't know. So.
Are you talking battery powered? Are you talking?
I've never really.
Are you talking batteries or electricity? I know they are. There are some floor models.
Probably the battery one, something batteries were rechargeable. Yeah, as far as using out in the woods. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, like
I'm
we
not
do.
Sure, like my camcorder is a rechargeable device.
Well, when we have on occasion, like we have went to several bridges, covered bridges, and that kind of thing for investigations. Well, there's obviously no power, but we take a car jumper charged that has the auxiliary power to it, and use that as a power source to run our electronic equipment, and that works well. So you might want to think about that sometime.
That's interesting. A car battery jumper. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Well, I have actually used them before. I mean, not belonging to me. On other investigations, I've been with others. Yeah, absolutely. They are very beneficial. They definitely come in handy.
Right. And what I was going to say is they do have floor model infrared lights only, right? That I've never used one before. What? Supposedly, they are. You have to plug them into that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that last part?
They do have floor model IR lights that supposedly light up the entire room. If you haven't, if your camera has IR capabilities, right? I've never used one, but they do have those,
right.
And that should work in the woods, especially in really dark woods. So I don't know why it wouldn't. Like you said, though, the depth, the range, though, who knows?
Yeah, now that is one thing that, as far as my night vision binocular that I have.
Yeah.
Back when I first got it, I kind of wish I studied a little bit better on it because it does have recording capabilities. However, my particular device has an output. Recording output where you would have to hook like a mini DVR up to it.
Oh yeah.
Which I never pursued getting, but I kind of wish I had picked up the one that just takes the SD card. It'll be easier to record that way. But this particular night vision device, it's the iGen 2020.
Yeah.
I love it as far as the quality. You could use it with like 3 different settings, basically. Basic infrared and then max infrared.
Right.
Or if there's enough natural light at night, you could turn the infrared completely off, and the technology basically draws in the light into the device, and
like it's supposed to work.
As you can during the daytime with this thing.
Right. Like it really does work. Actually, yeah, I get you. I get it. Yeah. Well, Daniel,
absolutely.
Man, we're out of time.
Yeah.
We're out of time, buddy. I'm sorry, but we could talk forever, but I want to thank you for coming on and tell everyone where they can find information for your upcoming events and everything. That could go to your website, your Facebook page.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you. You can go to www.vabigfootcon.com. It's the main website for our June event. Also, we have information on there regarding our October event. Our June 18th event's happening very soon here. It's right around the corner at the Holiday Inn and Conference Center in Stanton, Virginia.
There you go.
Right off of Interstate 81. You're going to want to be there. So you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm not hard to find. You want to know more about me, you can check out my bio at ecbrofounder.com.
There you go.
So, I'm all over the place. I post and share publicly. So thank you guys very much for having me on.
Well, thank you for being on, and we hope you'll come back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would love to.
All right, man. Well, have a good night.
You too. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Daniel. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. They crawl all over your dirty snout, your chest. My name is David Walton. I am a vocal performer for What Are You Afraid Of? Horror and Paranormal show. And I have carried the burden of a terrible secret. I am actually what is offensively called a ghost. For years now, I have concealed my ectoplasmic existence from my friends and family, in fear of a common prejudice against ghosts, or what we like to call the disembodied. I have existed frightened of being discovered, unable to do physical acts that the embodied take for granted, such as walking a squirrel or drinking a glass of vitamin E milk fresh squeezed from a whale. I grew depressed and even considered acts of self-harm or reincarnation, which is suicide for the disembodied. Such movies as Ghostbusters and its sequels drove my feelings of disenfranchisement, and I began looking for help, only to encounter painful exorcisms in the houses I haunted. Then I met two good people, it says here, Fox and Phil, at What Are You Afraid Of? Horror and Paranormal. And they helped me take control of my own life. Now, it is my choice whether I wish to make phantom bangs in the night, appear at the foot of your bed in darkness, or make your walls bleed. If you are a disembodied person like I am, and you're living a lie, What Are You Afraid Of? Can help you too. They are on at 9 p.m. on Friday nights at Para X Radio, leaving plenty of time for midnight haunting activities, and can be found on all major podcast services. Listen to their paranormal stories, interviews, humorous sketches and horror fiction to know that you are not alone. And if you are a member of the embodied, don't forget, you are only a single heart attack or tumour away from becoming one of us. This is David Walton. See you on the other side. Or as I call it, this side.
And that is the end of a perfect day.
Your source for everything paranormal, Para X.
Are you in a band or know of a band that is currently unsigned and looking for airplay for free? We want to hear from you. One of the main goals of the show is to help promote up-and-coming bands and artists as well as our paranormal community. Getting your name out there can be tough, especially these days. Shoot us an email, deadzonebooking@gmail.com. If your music fits our genre, hard rock, 80s, 90s metal, and new metal, we want to help.
If you've enjoyed this episode, share it with your friends.
This is the Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show.
Thanks for listening.